everyone. Myself Srivali, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Cybersecurity and Data Science in MLR Institute of Technology. Today, the overview of presentation includes introduction to CP rule, steps to derive the CP rule, and also we are going to see the examples on CP rule methods. So, first, let us know what is meant by rule CP and what are the steps that we need to develop to go for the examples here. So, first, what is meant by CP rule? So, here, if you understand the CP is nothing but the abbreviation of CP is conditional proof. So, there is a third inference rule which is known as CP rule, or we can also call it as a conditional proof. So, what is meant by this rule CP? So, if we can derive S from R and a set of premises, then we can derive R implies yes from the set of premises alone. So here, what is the meaning of this words? So if we can derive yes from R, means for example, let us suppose here we have R implies yes as a conclusion they have given in the question. Now, they have given some additional premises also, means some other premises they have given. Now, along with this premises, you have to consider the first statement in the conclusion as additional premise, and along with the given premises you need to solve this additional premise also until we get the conclusion yes. So here, if we can derive yes from R, means you are taking this conclusion yes and you are taking this R as a premise along with the additional premises, and you are going to derive this here up to you get the conclusion yes. So here it is also called as a deduction theorem. So here we can say that the CP rule is also called as deduction theorem. So here, what are the steps for solving the CP rule method? So here, to derive this R implies yes, include R as an additional premise, means here for example we have the same thing R implies yes, and we have some given premises like P1, P2, P3, so on, like premises we have there. So now here, from this R implies yes, you have to include this R as also the additional premise like P4. And here solve until you get up to yes by using the rules of inference. Means by using the rules of inference means here we have solved the previous session problems also using rules of inference like implication problems and using equivalence problems. So by solving those here, you need to solve here until you get the conclusion as R. So at last step, you have to write that individual premise as numbers as except additional premise number, you have to include R implies yes from rule CP. So here these are the steps that we need to follow to derive the R implies yes, that is nothing but yes from R implies yes, and also with the additional premises. So let us see the examples on this CP rule method so that we can understand here how to solve this by using the rule CP. So the question is here, show that R implies yes can be derived from the premises P implies Q implies yes, negation R or P and Q. Now, first of all, we need to understand what is the conclusion and what are the given premises. So here, show that R implies yes, means this is the conclusion, and the given premises are P implies Q implies yes, negation R or P and also Q. So these are the three premises given. Now here, according to the CP rule, what we have to follow is, what is the first step here? Include R as an additional premise. So here, this R is nothing but from the conclusion, the first statement. In the same way, in our question, R implies yes also there here. So from this, what is the first statement is here? R. So this R we have to include the premise like additional premise, and you need to solve along with this given premises until you get the answer yes. So here, this is nothing but here CP rule method. So let us solve the problems here. So first, the given premises here. So according to our rules of inference concept, as usual, we need to follow the 4 columns like premise, number, step number we need to follow. So next here, premise name, and rule of inference. So here, so premise number is as usual we have to include within the flower brackets. So step number is 1 and the premise name is here. So we have to include the premise here, and the second premise whichever you are going to include, that should have connectivity, like we have to use some implication formulas with that. So let us suppose here, first I am going to include here negation R or P. So here this is rule P. Next, the premise here, for example, negation R or P, I can write it as by using the standard formula R implies P. So this is step 2. So as we are using only the first one, then you have to write only premise 1. So here rule T by using the equivalence formula. So the equivalence formula, standard formula is here. P implies Q is equivalent to negation P or Q. So this formula we have used here. So next here, the premise number is 3 and step number is 3 here. And the premise here you can include is the additional premise, the premise here, the additional premise you can include, and you can write it as here, this one, rule P, and this is called additional premise. So if we observe here R comma R implies P. So by using the modulus ponens here, R comma R implies P is P you will get. So the same thing here. So as we are going to add here R comma R implies P, then 1 comma 3 premises numbers you need to write. And step number is here 4 and R comma R implies P is P. So this is called rule T. And here the step numbers here we have used is 2 comma 3. So that's why we have to write 2 comma 3. And the formula here we have used is I11. So here R is done. Negation R or P is also done. So next we have left over with P implies Q implies yes and also Q. So here, so what we have to do here, next premises that we are going to add is, so P implies Q implies yes. So the premise number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the 5. Step number is 5 here. And the premise name is here P implies Q implies yes. So which is nothing but as it is the given premise, we have to write rule P. So next 1 comma 3 comma 5. So why? Because as we are using the premise numbers here 1, 3 and 5, the same numbers we have to include here. Step number 6, P comma P implies Q implies yes, just like it is in the form of P comma P implies Q. So this Q implies total, if I consider it as Q, P comma P implies Q is Q. So which is nothing but here Q implies yes. So which is the formula here we have used is rule T, and the step numbers we have used is here 4 comma 5 and I11. So next here we are left over with Q to add the premise. So here premises number 7, step number 7, here Q, and this is called rule P. Next here Q comma Q implies, again if you apply I11 here, you will get 1, 3, 5, 7 and step number is 8 here, and Q comma Q implies yes is yes, and this is called rule T, and the step numbers here we have used is 6 comma 7 and I11. So here if we observe here, so what is our conclusion? Basically R implies yes. Now we need to solve along with the given premises. This R also should be added as an additional premise, and until we get yes we need to solve. So this yes is itself is our conclusion. So this is like we have achieved the CP rule, and at last you can write here 1, 3, 5, 7, step number 9, and this you have to write here R implies yes. This is called rule CP. Means at last here, as per the steps of the rule CP, at last you need to mention that whatever the conclusion they have given R implies yes, and here in the rule of inference you have to include rule CP. So this is like how you need to solve the rule CP method here. So let us see the next problem also. So what is the second question here is, show that P implies yes can be derived from the premises negation P or Q, negation Q or R implies yes. So if you observe here in the question, we have three premises, 1, 2, 3. And here the conclusion is P implies yes. From this, the first statement is also called the premise, that is fourth premise, and you need to solve until you get this is yes. So let us solve here. Premise number, and here step number. So here premise name, and here rule of inference. So here from this first one you have to consider any premise you need to consider here. So not only as I have included this as a first premise, it is not mandatory that you have to include only this one as a first premise. So you can given any premise as a first premise, but the next premise whichever you are going to include, it should have connectivity by using rules of implications or by using the equivalence formulas or anything. So here premise number is 1 here. So let us suppose here negation P or Q. So I have taken the first one as itself negation P or Q as a first premise. Now the rule of inference is here P, rule P. So next here the same premise I am writing, I am just converting by using equivalence formula, that is standard formula. So which I can write it as here P implies Q. Why? Because we have the formula P implies Q is equivalent to negation P or Q in equivalence. So the same formula I have applied here. Negation P or Q I have written here P implies Q. So next, so here this is rule T by using equivalence formula. By using equivalence formula. So next here the premise number is 3 and step number is 3, and here this fourth premise I am going to consider here. So which is called rule P. Now here P comma P implies Q. So which is called as by using I11 modulus ponens you will get the Q here. So step number you have to include, as you have taken the step numbers 2 comma 3 and premises numbers 1 comma 3. So you have to write premises number is 1 comma 3 and step number is 4 and here it is Q, and this is called rule T. So here rule T, and here the steps whichever we have used is 2 comma 3 and the formula we have used is I11. And in the same way here, so P is done, negation P or Q is done. Next we are left over with negation Q or R. So here premises number 5, step number 5, and this one directly negation Q or R. So you can write here the same premise. In the next line you can write it as here step number 6 and here Q implies R, just like the same formula we have used here, and this is called rule T equivalence. Next here step number is, premises number is 7 here, and here we have used step number 7. So now if we observe here, as we are using here premises number 1, 3 and as we are using the premises number 5, the same thing you can give the premises here. For example 1, 3, 5 here, and here negation Q comma Q implies R is R, and this is called rule T, and the step numbers we have used is 4 and 6 here. Then we have to go for 4 comma 6 and also I11 formula. So Q comma, and this is also done here. Next, we are left over with the last premise, which is called R implies yes. So here, so directly you can write R implies yes by including the premises number as 8, step number as 8 here, and here R implies yes, which is called as rule P. And next here, so by including 1, 3, 5, 8, so here step number is 9, R comma R implies yes is here yes, and rule T by including the steps here 7 and 8, and it is called I11. So now last you have to write as usual here according to our steps. The last one you have to include it as here P implies yes, which is called rule CP. So here if we observe, so the question is show that P implies yes can be derived from the premises negation P or Q, negation QR, or R implies yes. So along with these three premises, we have included P as an additional premise and solve until we get S. So at last, as usual, the given conclusion, whatever they have given, we have to include here. And in the rules of inference, you have to include rule CP. Now, if you observe here the formulas, so if you observe carefully the total procedure of this question here, we have used only equivalence formula, that is standard formula, and we have used only I11 formula, Modius ponens. So these two, with these two formulas, we have solved the problem here. So like this, we need to solve. Let us go for the other problem also, third problem. So derive P implies negation yes from P implies R, yes implies negation R. So here premise number and here step number and here premise name, rule of inference. So here if we observe premise number is here 1. Now step number is 1 here. Now the premise name we have to include. So now if we observe, this is the conclusion that P implies negation yes. So from this, P as the additional premise and the other premises are P implies R, yes implies negation R. So now let us take here first premise as additional premise only, that is rule P, which is called as additional premise. Next here, include the next given premise here, P implies R, so which is called rule P. Now again, by applying these two here, we will get I11 formula, Modius ponens formula. So just include premise numbers are 1, 2 and the step number is 3 here. P, P implies R is R, and here rule of inference is here rule T, and here step number is 1, 2, and here the formula we have used is I11. Now here, so this is done and this is also done here, and we are left over with S implies negation R. So premise number 4, step number 4, and here S implies negation R. So S implies negation R is rule P, but we don't have any formula for this S implies negation R with the R. So but if I get negation R implies yes, then if I get R implies negation yes, then I'll get the answer by using the standard formula. So I need to convert this into here contrapositive, so I should get the answer. So for example, P implies Q is there. We know that converse is here Q implies P, and we also know inverse here negation P implies negation Q, and contrapositive we have here negation Q implies negation P. In the same way here, if I apply negation for both and if I interchange, that is nothing but contrapositive, then I'll get here R implies negation yes. So here, so the same thing I have applied here, converse, inverse and contrapositive. So here if I apply this, then I'll get premises number is here as I have used here the new one. So here I have used the same thing, S implies negation R with the new one. So that is nothing but 4. Step number is 5. And here I have used here rule 2, which is nothing but using equivalence contrapositive. So using equivalence formula, I got R implies negation, yes. Now here R comma R implies negation, yes. So here as I have used 1 comma 2 comma 4 premises and step number is 6, then I'll get the answer as negation, yes, by using I11 formula. So this is called rule T, and step numbers are 4 and 5 here, 3 and 5 here, 3 comma 5, and here the formula it is I11. So we got the negation, yes, here, and here that is the desired conclusion that we need to get. So here, 1, 2, 4, step number 7, and you need to write here the same total. P implies negation, yes, rule CP. So like this here, we have solved P implies negation, yes, that is using rule CP. So here, like this, we need to solve the rule CP methods. So here, how you can identify that in the question that is from the rule CP. So basically, always the conclusion will be in the form of implication for the rule CP methods. And even they'll be mentioning by using rule CP. Even if they don't mention using rule CP also, if you understand the conclusion, if it is there in the implication format, then you have to understand that that is using rule CP method. And as usual, we need to follow the process of rule CP process. Like you need to consider the first statement as an additional premise. Along with the given premises, you need to solve it until you get the second statement, that is yes or negation or yes or something. Whatever we have, that you have to solve it until you get that particular second statement. So like this, we need to solve the problems of rule CP here. So what we have discussed today is what is meant by rule CP, what are the steps that we need to follow to construct the rule CP method, and we have also seen few examples. So in the next session, we'll go with the indirect method of proof, or which is also called as inconsistency of premises, and we'll solve some problems based on that. So by this, today we'll end the session. Thank you.